In 1974, there were about 124,000 Jamaicans in the U.S. Now there's over 760,000. That's the same, and then the same goes for Haitian. There was less than 188,000, or about 200,000, as recent as 1988. Now, there's also about 740,000 Haitians. Exponentially, it rose. Same thing for Nigerian. There was only a trickle. But after 2000, they came in after the Jamaicans and Haitians. They started coming in a large number after, especially after the year 2000, where there's almost 350,000. Altogether, and the Ethiopians. They're about 20% of the Washington, D.C. residents now. There's almost, I guess, maybe 80 or 90,000 Ethiopians. Large increase. Why is that so? When the Caucasians wanted to keep them out, now they're letting them in large numbers and appointing them in important positions. The average person would not think the Caucasians are that devious and that cunning. All of this is to fight against the original Black Americans. Now, there's a difference between Africans coming to this country and Black people going to Africa. Only about 50,000 African original Black Americans went to Africa, even though much more could afford to. Many more African Americans could afford to go to Africa than there is for Africans that's able to afford to come to America. But Africans African and Caribbeans who come to America is looking for jobs, highly skilled jobs, no matter how educated they are. And Nigerians are very well educated in comparison. They have degrees. But degrees oftentimes is useless in Nigeria. They may have a busboy job and have a degree in polytechnic or some other type of STEM skill. So they are educated, but there's no avenue of decent pay. And even the most highly skilled in Nigeria may get $200 a month, which is considered good salary in Nigeria. And in the U.S., they may get $200,000 a year. So they're looking for a better opportunity. Whereas Black original Black Americans, and you always hear it say over and over and over on the internet, don't go to Africa looking for a job. Go to Africa to create jobs, to build business. And that's what black Americans, the few that are going to Africa, many of them are doing, not all, but many of them. Some go over there foolishly without any money, but most go with 8 children, 7 children, and building homes. And most of their reason for going is spiritual, or to find peace. The ones that are going, most of them are going for spiritual reason, or to find peace. But Africans are not coming to America for that reason. They're coming basically for financial reason, and to get a position, some high position. Now Nigerians, for some reason, there's another agenda. For some reason, like in Texas, I read that the government in Texas is making an effort to hire Nigerians as guards, prison guards. Why is that so? I guess they've reasoned that they would have less sympathetic connection with the prisoners. Must be some reason to the madness. Must be some reason to the madness. You see, most of them, like Jamaicans and Haitians, going to places like New York, big urban center, or Florida. And you see the Haitian, I think they have 2 congresspersons. One woman they just elected to Congress from Florida. So they are taking position as Congress people in the political field. David Patterson, who was the lieutenant governor of New York, I think he was blind or nearly blind. He's a Brazilian, not Brazilian, but Jamaican heritage. The Lieutenant Governor, Virginia, Winsome, says Jamaican heritage. People like Jada Pinkett Smith. Her mother is Jamaican and Bajan. Her father is African American, but you hardly hear about her father, but you hear about her mother. The Red Table Talk. Kerry Washington, her mother, Jamaican. So there is some method to this madness. And people now are understanding what is happening. There's an implantation to supplant the original African American. They needed us to do the job. Need us to do the job of building America. As I call us Ammonians. Build America, building the new Egypt. And now that we was set to take over the land, nation we built, they trying to supplant us. But just like all of their acts is of naught. It's really of naught. What they do in the darkness will come into light. Now, this seems to be a little off topic, but when it's said in the Bible, light, God separates light from darkness. One way you can look at it, there's more ways you can look at it. And they know of the different ways you can look at it, the ones who wrote the book. That light is the esoteric knowledge. That is things that is everybody know about. That you can see plainly. Simple knowledge. Like a lot of the parables in the Bible. And that's light. Darkness, that dark saying, that's hidden knowledge. Esoteric, like the Masonic speak in esoteric, the speculative Mason, in esoteric terms. That's not known to the mass of the people. Like Jesus said, when his disciples, his initiates, his disciples asked him, why do he speak in parables? And he said, to you is known the mysteries of the heaven. Now, in the Hermetic term, heaven is the mind also, as well as the heavens above. It says, as above, so below. As below, so above. So that's the mind as well as the heavenly bodies. And he said, but to them it's not known. So he was the master. Jesus was the master. He said, unto them it's not known. So that's what he spoke in dark saying. And in darkness is where things are hid. Even the insects. When they want to hide, they don't go into the light. If they could, they would go to a place of darkness. So that's what separating light from darkness, one meaning of it. And as above, as below. So there's so many different things we have to contend with. How they are pitting black immigrants against to supplant them, the original black American. And of course, you say Nigerians, they don't go into black urban areas if they could afford not to. Oh, I can understand that. That is, it's good to go into the best neighborhood you could possibly go into that's clean. You don't want to move into the ghetto. I foolishly thought that at one time. Oh, but you want to go where it's clean, where there's peace. Again, that's why a lot of original black Americans move into Africa, for peace, for spiritual reason, and not for financial reason. It'd be good if one day they wake up, they will go. More and more for financial reason. Because even if you get 50,000, you get about 200,000 black original American, 200,000 millionaires to Africa would change a lot of things. And you still would have over a million, almost 1.5 million, or 1,300,000 black millionaires still in the U.S. So it won't put that much of a dent, but it'll make a big difference in Africa when black people start going for financial opportunity, financial reasons, and not just for spiritual and mental reasons. So this country's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And New York will be one of the places that is bombed. So Africans are coming over to a dangerous place, going on a place that's in decline. They're coming into a place that's in decline, that's judgment is against. So no wonder they allow them to come over more freely. Especially a big city like New York. Sinful, crime-ridden. And they're hoping Eric Adams will clean things up because he was an ex-cop. But there's no hope for that city. So there will be more contention between African Americans, or the original black Americans, and Africans and the Caribbeans. They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's Caribbeans and Africans. They want to come over to America and they want to either change the culture of America or maintain their culture. A culture is only good for where you were born. You eat certain foods because of the area in which you was born, certain climate, certain behaviors that it's learned, certain habits. They call them mores, I guess, in sociology classes. But and now there may be some original black Americans mimic them. And like in the 60, we tried to mimic in the dashiki, we thought that was African. It was Chinese made. And some do try to take up the African language and African religion. A lot of black people try that. But we have to be ourselves and do our own thing. To know the truth, we have to really be ourselves. We have a Southern religion, not the Pentecostal holiness religion. It seems to be African inspired, but that's the African that's within us. The Pentecostal holiness church and so forth. That's the spirit that's within us. We have our own food, soul food. Some of it have to go. We have to have a different type of soul food. But we're not going to eat the bush meat that Africans eat either. So things is settle itself out. Challenges are being made and met. Everything will be okay.